Hiya. Recently I reached 700 subscribers. It's nothing to do with the topic of this video, I just felt like mentioning it. So lately I've been making a lot of videos how I didn't go to school. Basically been recycling the same topic over and over again. Because it got a lot of people commenting, so I made a video responding to the comments. That's what I'm going to do in this video. I wanted to respond to some comments because I've been outing myself how I am uneducated. I didn't get a formal education. A lot of people have been telling me how they feel sorry for me, or other people are just calling me stupid, which is fine. I don't really mind. And I'm sure if I had any regular viewers, they're probably tired of hearing the same topic over and over again. So the thing is, I don't really make long form videos that much anymore anyways. I usually make shorts. I make a lot of shorts of my drawing videos. So please watch my drawing videos if you want. Now, I am here to respond to more comments. By the way, I heart every comment. You can say the nastiest stuff to me and I'd still heart your comment. Okay, the first one is, education is really important, your literacy is terrible, and you clearly lack with comprehension skills. And that got 40 likes. And I don't know what they mean that I lack comprehension skills. My comprehension is really have improved. I don't think my lack of comprehension would even show in my video. Didn't even know how to pronounce tax. That's insane, bro. Okay, yeah, in my previous video, I read a comment that said tax. That's the only syllable I could read, so I purposely skipped over that word because having an S-Y-N behind tax doesn't really make any sense to me. I mean, I'll just go to Google Translate to see what it really says.
Syntax.
Syntax? I never even heard that word before in my life. What's its syntax? Syntax means the set of rules for how you arrange words, phrases, and symbols to make valid sentences or code. It tells you the right word order so that people, machines can understand your meaning. How was I supposed to know that it was pronounced syntax? It has a Y in it. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, this is a funny one because it's not even about me. This person says, I'm coming near the end of school and my vocabulary is quite shit. And then someone replied to them, whose fault is that? And they replied back saying, no one's? What are you even on? I just thought that was funny. This person says 90% of everyone in the entire world hates school. You're not special. The fact that you cannot comprehend this and the fact that you cannot understand how much of a disadvantage this puts you at is just sad. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying, that everybody hates school, and I was bragging about how I didn't have to go to school, so I got to do whatever I wanted while everybody was forced to go to school. That's kind of what I was saying. By the way, this person's profile photo, that's insane. You aren't going to make. But then I said, it? Yeah, I thought that's what he meant. You're not going to make it. Yes, typo. I have almost finished this video and I feel very sorry for you. I hope one day you are able to escape your situation. At the very least, get a decent education. I wish people could stop saying how they feel sorry for me, because it's not really that bad. And this person just commented about the mask I was wearing. Honey, COVID-19 has been over for 5 years because I was wearing a mask because I don't want to show my face. This person says the last video was funny, but this one is more just tragic. Now that I'm realizing his life is genuinely already over since his parents have permanently stunted his development. I'm kind of done correcting people on this because people keep mistaking me for a boy, so I'm done saying anything about it. And yeah, I guess they did stunt my development. I kind of agree with that, but my life is not tragic. And why do people keep saying my life is over? Hey, school teaches you how to sound things out. I'm sorry your parents did this to you, though it isn't really your fault. My parents taught me how to sound things out. I was just really bad at it, so that's why it took me so long to read in the first place. I'm just not good at it. You read like a 7-year-old. What are you talking about? You're not just uneducated, but unintelligent. That's your opinion. It really would have been better if you had gone to school. Stop talking nonsense and don't tell the children such rubbish. Guess what? I read a book. I know. Thank you. I read this book. I would like to thank the Academy. So, for your information, I don't read like a 7-year-old. I read like a 12-year-old. But seriously, my friend wanted to get me into reading, so he got me this book based off the best Disney Channel show, That's So Raven. Because he figured that if I read something that is based off something I like, then maybe I would enjoy reading. I mean, I didn't really enjoy it, but I remember the episode this book is based off of. But the whole time I was reading, I was thinking to myself, anything I could get out of a book, I can get out of a TV show or movie. That's why reading doesn't really make any sense to me. Like, why read something, put all your effort into trying to comprehend something when you can just see moving pictures and voices instead, you know? Okay, here is a comment from someone who claims to be an unschooler. I'm an unschooler and I legitimately want to talk to you. This seems like a very interesting conversation since my experience varied from yours in many ways. I agree that if done well, unschooling is effective, but I think it's actually one of the most energy-intensive ways to school your child. And if the effort is not put into it, it can fail spectacularly. Well, here's one person who actually kinda agrees with my views on unschooling. Okay, next one. A lot of people have been talking at you, but I am curious to know more about your understanding in relationship with education in general. Could you please answer the following questions? What should a well-adjusted adult know? I'm not really sure. What skills do you think someone needs to succeed in the world? I don't know that one either. If you were a teacher, what would you teach your pupils and what would you omit? I don't know. What distinguishes an uneducated person from an educated one? Do you have a dream job? If so, what skills would you need to do that job? Well, I don't really have a dream job. I mean, I do like to edit and I do like to draw. I am not gonna pursue any of those to be a career. I mean, I found a way to make money off of the internet, but I don't really have a dream job. What is literacy to you? Is it just the ability to read a text, or is it also the ability to abstract and apply the meaning of the text to different contexts? It's ability to read. Do you want to be more educated, or are you content with what you know now? Yeah, I'm pretty fine with what I know now. I'm okay with it. Okay, here's another good one. I think your government is intentionally making adults stupid because they tend to draft all of you into war within a decade. I feel sorry for you. I wish people could stop saying how they feel sorry for me. And also, I don't think that I would even be drafted. Even if they did still do that, I don't think they draft people anymore, but they probably wouldn't want me because I have a disability. And then someone replied to their comment, I don't think this user would be helpful in a war. You're probably right. And the person replied back, most active military personnel are in forward support and logistics. Also, you really think this person couldn't pilot an FPV drone? What is that? I don't know what that is. I don't think, without wanting to speak out of turn, that the government is looking for soldiers who are weak, cowardly, and intellectually incapable unless their goal is to lose. And that's insulting. Is this person calling me a coward and that I'm weak and intellectually incapable? Only 2 of those things are true. I'm really strong. I work out all the time. I lift a lot of weights. Look at me. Look how buff I am. I am in really good shape. And the person replied, their goal is abandoned and unresisting under this admin. The intellectual weight of the military isn't exercised by the individual soldier, but how the current admin treats the military and its affairs is another topic that I'm also concerned is veering us in the direction I fear. There's a reason you sacked all your top-ranking generals in the span of 2 years. I only understood half of that, mostly because it was really hard to read. I hope you won't be surprised and disappointed in the future because you're on a very good path to end up questioning your life choices. I don't know how to respond to that because I haven't really made any choices in life. Hey, this video makes me sad, and I hope one day you're able to realize that this is not how any parent should be taking care of their kid. It's abuse. Well, I don't really see it that way. It is obviously very bad if you do not go to school. School is very good for a child's well-being. I feel very bad for you. Why do people keep saying this? Stop feeling bad for me. Dang, this video does not help you at all. Yeah. It's honestly just a little sad how deeply you don't understand that you've been disadvantaged. That got 50 likes. I know I've been disadvantaged and I'm fine with it, but I'm very well aware. This next one I'm not going to read out loud, but I am going to read the reply below it. Girl, please be serious. She was struggling through these comments due to poor literacy. People keep making comments about my reading, and I don't know why, because I actually read very fluently. I had a proper online homeschooling experience through FLVS and finished my last year of high school in person to enjoy prom, HLCO, and gain social skills needed for college. This individual was failed at all levels by the system and adults surrounding her. Really, the Department of Children Families should have stepped in and removed her and her brother from the home and placed them into the system. My cousin had to go into foster care, and despite the challenges he's faced in life, he is succeeding in college currently. Yeah, I never tell people this, but me and my brother has been into the foster care system at one point. I mean, we were like babies, so we have no memory of it, but they returned us to our parents eventually. Yeah, I mean, considering that we did have a history of going into the foster care at one point, you would think that someone would check in on us, but that never happened. YouTube is not a career, it is a side gig. But yeah, I never said I was going to pursue YouTube anyway. This is just a hobby. You mentioned a roommate, but who pays for the apartment? This is a house. Do you have an income, or are you being supported by the government social services? Yes. There is no path in life without an education. Thanks for reminding me. Everybody's been telling me that. I hope you will be able to get a GED and maybe college education if you want. I also have reading struggles. You can improve at learning skills. Finally, someone who gets that reading isn't always easy, but also I'm kind of tired of people commenting on my reading skills. I don't know why they keep doing that. But yeah, I thought about getting a GED, but when it comes to those things, there's really no motivation to pursue a college education or get a GED because education was never a part of your life in the first place, so there's really no motivation to strive for those things. So I got a couple comments from actual artists, because I mentioned in my video that I like to draw and I consider myself an artist with air quotes. But here's some comments from real artists. Hey, I'm a professional 2D animator, meaning I draw for a living. This was an interesting video to watch, coming from the perspective of someone who went to school and did particularly well at it. I actually remember my parents were disappointed that I decided to pursue art rather than something that is typically more financially stable or sound. Luckily, I was able to snag some scholarships to help soothe them, but that's besides the point. I do think that while your art has its charm, it does lack refinement due to being self-taught, which there is nothing wrong with on its own. However, it definitely feels stagnant, especially after hearing that you have been drawing for 14 years, and after taking a look at some of your work, I can definitely see where you struggle to grow and adapt. Yeah, I have been drawing for 14 years. But I mean, I think I've gotten a little better at it within that time, but I never took any classes for it. Education is a very important part of art. Being able to change and grow is a hard skill, and it requires a vast knowledge of art fundamentals and your own brand of personal self-expression to really make something cool. In my instance as a animator, I do have my own style, but because I work on other projects, I have to be able to replicate their style, and that requires me to understand perspective, line, quality, contour, etc. I just feel like your stance on education is somehow connected to how stagnant your art has been. From some of your speed drawings, I notice you eyeballing characters on a separate screen and recreating the line work on paper. While working from reference isn't a bad thing, you should be trying to figure out the forms by using this method. Rather try to rebuild the building blocks of the characters rather than skipping to the line work. Adding random line work to a blank page is like adding seasoning to a pan without putting the meat inside it first. You have to learn how to cook the meat first so you don't get sick. Once you taste it and find out it's bland and boring, you can add seasoning, finally making it taste good. Art is the same way, where you have to learn to do all these fundamentals so you can season it with the cool stuff that makes it unique, and most importantly, you. With your artwork I just see you redrawing other people's work, like redrawing a Inuyasha cover or redrawing a picture of Tails, but I am struggling to see any part of you shining through your work. Unironically, your profile picture tells me a lot more about you and looks a lot more fun than your redraws. My profile photo, my avatar, is like my original creation that I made up in my head. I do redraws. I always use reference photo so I have something to draw from, because I don't know how to make something up. So I need a reference photo to draw, because I'm only good at replicating what I'm seeing from a reference photo than making something up. So here's another commenter who is also an artist. With all honesty, you seem like you need education. I'm genuinely not saying this to be mean. I mean well, trust me. I just got to say it because I can't help but care. I haven't watched the context video, but from even the way you read/misread, it's showing. A lot of things are a must-have unless your parents have a lot of money to burn. Even then, things like social/cultural/politics studies might really help a lot with understanding the world and expressing yourself, whether it is through talking or through creating. It doesn't have to be at school. I'm sure you can learn these things on your own in your house with help if needed. Yeah, that's what I was saying in my previous videos, that you can just learn at home. I mean, we never did that, but you can. You just have to find what works with your brain. Gamify it. You say we're addicted to video games, and that's really bad actually. This doesn't even refute what was said here. If anything, you're proving the comment right instead. Well, I wasn't trying to prove the comment right or wrong, I was just responding to it. If you had other things to do, it might have given you a healthier routine and better alternatives to gaming all day. Yeah, I had other things to do. I played with Bakugan, I watched TV, but I did play a lot of video games, but I had a lot of free time just to do anything. I also strongly encourage you not to use AI to confirm your point. AI is good at giving you what you want to hear rather than real information. And the worst part is that it will do it confidently. Use real sources instead. I know it's slower, but it's going to be more correct at least. Yeah, I would like to do that, but I don't know where else to get information besides the internet. There's a lot of life skills you will need even as an artist. Coming from someone who is an artist slash animator, at your level, this won't cut it. Art is very competitive. Being an artist is actually kind of a pain. Yeah, well, I never plan on making art as a career. I'm not gonna pursue that. I just do it for fun. You will very likely need to do side jobs until you get a proper audience, especially because your art isn't really at a decent skill yet for someone with that much free time who's been at it for 14 years. If you're going to make up in creative skills, you're going to need to really lock in on learning art less passively. Learn fundamentals, starting with 3D shapes, anatomy, and perspectives. There's a lot of bad art tutorials by people who can only redraw things from pre-existing images. Avoid these videos because they're usually useless and they will hinder your art growth. I draw from references all the time. I don't see anything wrong with it. It's an issue because you end up drawing lines without understanding the structure of what you're drawing, and then you'll struggle a lot with drawing the same thing slash character in different angles slash poses consistently. I'd recommend looking for free videos from courses instead. If you want, try and come with a list of YouTubers that make proper art teaching videos. Things I'd recommend is to adverse yourself a whole lot around people in your niche slash style of art. Also, whenever dealing with other people is spelling doom for an artist. Most of the jobs we get, opportunities to get money or have some projects greenlit, etc., are done through connections. I believe going to school past high school is completely useless for an artist in 2016, except for a single thing: making friends. Friends will recommend you to other customers or studios. Also, friends will save you when you're struggling with drawing, and they can also just help you make your art better. Writing such a long comment is very exhausting, so I'll leave it at that. I haven't finished the video yet, but I really do hope you make it as an artist. Also, if my English is a little bad, it's not my first language. I was never planning on doing art professionally. I try to make my art look as professional as possible, but I'm never going to be like a professional in the sense as I do it for a living. I just do art as a hobby because I don't even know how you would even find jobs in that field anyway, so I just do this for fun. So while editing this, I discovered that while reading this comment, I actually skipped a line. This is something I always had a habit of just skipping a line of text because it's so hard to keep up with when there's so many words. So what I missed was, although it doesn't have to be school, it can be simple outdoorsing or activities outside the screens. And yes, that's what I did a lot too as a teenager. When I was 15, we got our basketball hoop in the yard, so I was just out there for hours. I would even run around the house with my dog just for fun. But yeah, I did have a lot of free time as a kid, and I took full advantage of just doing whatever I wanted. I feel like going to school can definitely benefit people in so many different ways, such as education, social skills, building unique experiences, discovering more about yourself as a human, and so on. Yeah, me and my brother never really got to socialize, so we got no social skills. And that's another thing our parents really didn't care about. Like, they didn't care about our education, and they didn't really care about us socializing with other kids because they sort of figured that we had each other. And yeah, school can suck sometimes and it can make you feel upset slash depressed, but the way I compare this to is going to the doctor slash dentist, because people don't usually enjoy going to a doctor or seeing dentists, but it is beneficial for them in the same way school slash proper education is beneficial regardless. That's another thing I never had to do as a kid. I never had to go see the dentist. I mean, I probably went to the dentist twice in my life, once when I was 5 and the last time when I was 16. But we really didn't have to go to the dentist. But we did go to the eye doctor almost every year. But if you're cool with unschooling, then okay, I'm just stating my personal opinion. Okay, next one. There are different types of intelligence, it's in quotes because that is what I said. Except with unschooling, you will not develop any social intelligence as you are not socializing with other kids your age. Wrong! I socialize with my brother. The most important thing school teaches you, which you clearly never learned, is sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do. Yeah, even as an adult, I like to do things on my own time because I'm so used to it. My argument of why education is important, what I've noticed while writing my argument and listening to the video, is that the reading comprehension in the video was, to put it straight, gruesome. I don't know why, it doesn't really bother me that much, but I don't know why people are so hung up on my reading skills. Because I say they're pretty good. I mean, they're decent. They're not like terrible or anything because I can read very fluently. I'm not trying to hate because this is my first impression of the channel, but I need to speak what I understand to make a valid argument, even if it seems hurtful. Back to the point. It seems that the content part of your career focused on drawing and commentary. Having your channel being 50-50 split on commentary and art is a common trope. People use YouTube to share things and interests, so art and speaking your thoughts is a big part of content creation. So having a good reading comprehension and really just understanding how to write thorough scripts and arguments is important to content creation. By the way, I didn't mention this in my last video or this video, but this video and the last video was unscripted because I was just reading comments, so there's no reason to write a script. I'm not speaking from personal experience. I know for a fact that a good script in audio can make or break a video. I'm not sure what this guy's point was, but I'm just gonna be clear here that YouTube and art is not a career for me. This is just a hobby. I'm not looking to have any type of career. Honestly, I think you got way too much hate for this. You seem like a very sweet person and school isn't for everyone. Okay, you're wrong about that. I'm not a sweet person. But yeah, school isn't for everyone. I think that was my point. Anyway, I want people to stop saying how they feel bad for me. They can make fun of my reading all they want, but just stop feeling sorry for me. And stop telling me I don't have a future, because I already know. I'm fine with not having a future, by the way. Like, I'm good just doing what I'm doing now. Because I make a little bit money off the internet, like, who cares? I don't know why people feel bad for me. I mean, if you ask me, I think I was one of the lucky ones. Because usually kids have, like, this pressure, anxiety about, like, not disappointing their parents. So they have to do really well academically, right? But the thing with me is that I didn't have to worry about any of that because I was already a disappointment. I think this is why people feel sorry for me, because I keep saying things like that. Okay, let me start over. I didn't have so much pressure on me because nobody had any expectations for me anyway. Okay, look, in my comments, a lot of people think my parents didn't teach me at all, but that's not true. They taught me, they just didn't teach me that well. I mean, it was too hard to teach me anyway, so they didn't even try, I guess. Because I used to do these workbooks, but as I got older, the workbooks started to make less and less sense, so they took me longer to do, so I eventually gave up. Anyway, I don't make long form videos like this anymore, so check out some of my shorts. And also, I got a couple comments of people requesting some stuff, so I might do that. So okay, bye.